It's Nick here for Into Boxing, and I'm delighted once again to be joined by trainer Dave Coldwell. First of all, Dave, how are we?
I'm very good, thanks, mate. Yeah, really good. It's the first time I've been here actually, and it's Sophie's done a good job on it. It's lovely, nice place.
It is a nice place. It's ram-packed, obviously, with all the media and the fighters for Saturday night. You've got a man on the card yourself in Hopey Price. Talk to us about Hopey. How's camp gone for, and how's he looking?
Good. Listen, everybody says camp's gone good and all. It's usual generic sort of answers, but it was a little bit tricky and challenging because he had to pull out his last fight because he had a bad back injury, and so that's taken a couple of months to get over. So we had to, build him back in slowly and bring him through slowly, then start sparring steadily. So it's been a long process, but he's ready to go now. He's fully fit and looking forward to Saturday night.
What can we expect? Obviously, he's still very early on in his career, and that's all.
That's all.
That's it. He is still, and he's still so very young. What can we expect? Maybe slight differences from the last fight to this fight.
I like to see a progression in my fights for my fighters, but like I said, I'll be honest with you, because of the injury, it's a step up against a guy that's 18-3. But I just want him to go in there, look good, get the win, and then come through, everything's fine, and then we can move on and get a good momentum of fights going. It's a tricky fight, it's a dangerous fight, and if he fights the wrong fight, it becomes a difficult fight. But if he doesn't, then I hope he's special, and he'll look good, no doubt about that. And he's got the elite mentality that you need to get to the top in this sport, and that's shown in how he's coped with it, coming back and taking his time, not rushing things. A lot of young kids would want to get back into things and have a breakdown with their injury and things like that, but he's not. He's kept it going. He's had a lot of things to cope with, but he showed a lot of maturity about it.
God willing, he comes through victorious Saturday night, and yourself, the fighters, will never overlook an opponent. But what would you like Hopey to do in the next 12 months?
In the next 12 months, then you want to say English, British champion. English, British, Commonwealth titles, boom, boom, boom. That's what I want to be seeing in the next 12 months.
Big things for Hopey on the horizon then.
Yeah, but listen, the kid's an unbelievable talent. Unbelievable talent. I think in him and Lerrone Richards and Jordan as well, I look at the talent that those three guys have got, and they all box differently, but I look at them and I think they're special. It's a good time in my gym. Then I've got the youngest of the group in Stephen Cairns, who is legitimately an absolute thunderous puncher, either hand, and it's either punch. He's one of those kids where he hits you with a left hook, he hits you with a right hand, he hits you with a right uppercut or a left uppercut, he hits you with a jab. He's got heavy hands, but in sparring with Hopey and Jordan regularly, he's learning the boxing side of things, and if he can get the IQ and mentality of a boxer to go with the power that's always there, that's God-given, that's him. If he can have that to go with the power, this kid's going to be something special, and he's only just 20, like literally a couple of months ago.
You touched on there Lerrone Richards&Jordan Gill. Let's just quickly turn our attentions to them. I was just speaking to Lerrone there, hopefully waiting on some fight news, hopefully very, very soon. As his trainer, has it been frustrating for yourself as well that you haven't been able to get out since the Gongora win?
Unbelievably frustrating. It's a massive win, December 18th, massive win against Gongora, and then you're expecting a big 2022. So he has 2 weeks out of the gym, gets back into the gym, waiting for a big 2022. We're now 4th of August or something like that. We're still waiting for a big 2022, and it's not because he's been injured, it's not because he's been fat and overweight, drinking, going out partying. He's been in my gym training, and it's just not happened, and it's frustrating.
Jordan Gill as well, same there. Is any sort of fight news on Jordan?
With Jordan, slightly different because he's been putting off this hand operation for a while, 18 months, 2 years, on the back of the European title win. now he had that opportunity, got that opportunity, took that opportunity. Now it's one of those where you can afford to say, right, okay, I can afford to have 3 months out of the gym or out of using the hand, because now I've actually got something that when I come back, I'm not back at the bottom of the queue. That's how sometimes things work, and that's why sometimes fighters put off operation and things like that, because they're not in a position where they can step out of the game. Because if they step out of the game, they're forgotten. Promoters moved on to somebody else. But if you've got a European title, you know when you come back, you've got something. So he got his hand sorted, operated on. He's recovering now. We've just started back sparring now, so he's not got full throttle yet, but he's starting gradually increasing the load on the right hand. And so middle of September, early October, we're ready to go again, and so it'll be good to see him back.
Hopefully your gym will have a thriving end to the year, and everyone will be out very soon. Got to ask you a couple of other fights. First of all, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. Is it going to happen? And if it happens, how do you see it playing out?
I'm saying yeah, it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. There's been too much talk about it, and it's like a snowball going down a mountain. It's just gathering pace. It can't not happen. So I will say it's going to happen, and it's a mad fight. It's crazy. It's nuts, but I can't wait for it.
How do you see it playing out? And is it sort of a win-win for Conor Benn, in terms of if he beats Chris Eubank Jr., people will go, wow, you stepped up in weight, what a performance. But if Chris Eubank Jr. wins, Conor can always go back down to welterweight and it doesn't really affect him.
Yeah, I believe that. Listen, too many people talk about, unbeaten records, this. But listen, this is a fight that you know it'll hurt both men because of the legacy, because of the names, because of the parents. You can't say, it's easy. No, and Conor Benn's a pure winner. And you hear how he speaks, he's so passionate, his pride and everything like that. So he won't accept a loss. He won't, it'll hurt him bad. But in terms of the big grand scheme of things in the sport, and what does it do for his career, he's got the backing of a big promoter. He's got the backing of TV network. That helps. That doesn't mean that you get beat, you're going to be on the bottom of the waiting list. No, he'll just go straight on. His profile will be even higher. It won't really hurt him in that respect. What it'll hurt him is his pride. And depending on if he was to get beat, depending on how he gets beat, confidence. What does that do? Does he pick up any injuries? Does anything change? I don't know. But we're talking like Conor's going to lose. We don't know, because Conor Benn can really punch. But the way that I'll say is Chris Eubank Jr. can really take a shot. And he's tough and he's strong. It's such a good fight, and you look at it and think it's a mad fight, because people have never rated Eubank for his boxing ability, but they've always rated his chin. They've always rated his toughness and his relentlessness, and how he'll keep on coming and keep on throwing. Look at him against George Groves, outgunned but kept on trying, you know what I mean? It's a tough fight for Conor Benn. I don't know. It's a great fight.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's genuine 50-50, even though the weight categories obviously are different, in that it's still people go 50.
The problem is, for me, is a weight. If Eubank is as strong as what he normally is after he's been to weight, that's a big ask for Conor Benn. It's a big ask, because he's not a big guy, and Eubank's a big guy. And if Eubank does the hybrid boxing thing, I think that gives Conor Benn a really good chance. But if Eubank goes old school, hands tight, coming and using that strength and physicality, that's a tough night. That's a tough night for Conor.
Let's switch it up to the heavyweights. We'll start with Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk, the rematch. It's up on us now. We're a couple of weeks out from it. How do you see it going?
I don't know. I can't wait for that fight, because the first fight was so one-sided Usyk. There's so many different things in that. We all know, we all talked to death, AJ approached it the wrong way, did the wrong thing, blah blah blah. But Usyk also was quite within himself. Usyk's had another year to grow into the division, but also has had a year from hell with what's going on with his family, his friends and his countrymen in Ukraine. You don't know how that's going to affect him. And you can say, oh, you make an excuse for Usyk straight away. No, that's different shit. That's like, nobody knows how they're going to react until after it. It's like when we have people training to be soldiers, and they train for that, but then yet when they come back from war they're not the same, and they suffer from PTSD and things like that, but yet you're prepared for that. This has kind of been thrown on Usyk. You're in there, you're doing what you're doing. How has he come back from that? How has he managed to mentally handle that? And then to go into training camp, and then on fight night, will the emotions get to him? Because when fighters fight on emotions, it takes away the thought process. So how does that affect it? Does that tilt the balance in AJ's favour, alongside AJ looking at a new approach with Robert Garcia, looking to implement his size, his physicality, his punching power more, his combination punches more? There's so many permutations, and you can say Usyk's just going to do a better job than last time. That's where you think, yeah. Because you look at the first fight and think, yeah, Usyk again. But the shifts and the changes, you don't know. And the one thing about AJ, if I was him, I would target that body. I would go to the body. Expect to miss there. Expect to miss there early doors. Target the body. Take away sharpness, his legs, his movement. And then when you start getting him there, then you're in that range more where you can let go of your fantastic combination, because AJ's a good combination puncher and he punches. And we saw a few times the straight right hand landed on Usyk. You only increase the volume on that. Land more, it takes more out of it. You saw 2 body shots land on Usyk last time. You saw it had an effect. One, I think he moans to the referee, says it's low, not really. The other's good left up, but then he never throws it again. But it registers on him. You only have to increase that. It's a great fight. I can't wait to see it.
It is going to be another fantastic fight again. I think everybody, I think the whole world will come to a standstill to watch it. One other heavyweight I want to get your opinion on is someone you used to work with, Derek Chisora. Obviously had the big win, Kubrat Pulev. I don't think we've spoken since then. Thoughts on that performance? And there has been a lot. There's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, since the Pulev fight? I mean, straight after it was the name Deontay Wilder was there. Is that the right route for Derek? Is that a fight that you'd like to see?
You lot keep putting me in a position where it pisses Derek off, because I said on the night after he lost to Parker, as I said, I think the crowd singing your name on a loss, you give it everything. It's a perfect time to walk away. You've had a great career. No, his words were, fuck that. Because he loves to fight. That's only my opinion. But then I can't then change my mind when people turn around and say to me, oh, what do you think Derek should do next? That's my opinion. But it ain't happening. And my opinion don't mean shit, because he's Derek Chisora and he'll do what he wants to do. And good luck to him. He didn't retire, he had a fight, fought great. Up a great performance against Coldwell. But the same when after Parker, I think it was, when Eddie or somebody mentioned Deontay Wilder, my words to that was fuck that. So if you're asking me that same question, you've mentioned Deontay Wilder again, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm not going to change my opinion just because he's carrying on. Listen, if he fights Wilder, good luck to him. I hope he wins. But more importantly, I hope he gets through it all right and he doesn't have a horrible knockout. You know, Chisora's tough. But I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, you've ticked all the boxes. You've had a great career. You've made loads of money. And your family got in a ring in your last fight. It was beautiful. It was lovely to see. And I just think that's a lovely way to walk out. But it's not happening. He's going to fight again. So I know he's pissed off saying, what do I know? I'm up in Sheffield. I'm not saying that's what you must do. But if somebody asks me, what's your opinion? That is my opinion. But he ain't going to do it. So whoever he fights, I hope he wins. And whoever he fights, one of my things is, if he's fighting again, I'd love him like Pulev, where he's in with somebody where you think he can win that fight, rather than fucking hell, I hope Derek wins that. That's a tough, because his career's full of those kind of fights. So it's nice that if he can put a couple of back-to-back fights together, where it's like Yeah, Derek will win that fight. He deserves that if he's going to carry on. But whether that happens, I don't know.
Let's end it on the Mighty Reds. Season starts this Sunday. How are we going to get on?
I don't know, because I've held it down in pre-season because it's pre-season. But what I will say is the passages of play have been wicked. Beautiful football. Ping, 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 ping. Some really good goals, really good passages of play. And it's exciting. But when it comes to when it's for real against the better teams, how is that going to work? I don't know. The signings, I don't know what they're about. I don't know. We don't know how good they're going to be. It's like, it's all right being great in the Dutch division, but that's not Premier League, you know. So it's very, very tricky. But if the coaching's right, I look at when Klopp signed players, and you look at me and go, who? And then fast forward a year, 18 months, and they're like one of the world's best, and he's like, that's the coaching and development. So if Ten Hag is that kind of coach and his team's that kind of coaches, then you're getting these good players that are doing it at a good level, but then you're going to improve them so they're at top level. Because my problem is with United over the last few years, you've been getting these players, nobody's improved. In fact, they're going backwards, but nobody's improved. Kids come out of the academy, you think they're going to be great, they're there, but they're staying there. Whereas you look at other managers, other coaches, and they're developing players, and I hope that for United. I don't expect us to be winning this, winning that. I'm hoping we get a Champions League because it's hard not being a Champions League team. So I want fourth spot, hopefully, but I want that improvement in style of play. Exciting to watch again, seeing us score goals. The amount of times we went to Old Trafford last season with a little boy, we didn't get a goal. It's like, it weren't a case that, we're going to win today, it's like, we're going to see a goal today. I don't want to see that.
No, we don't. But let's hope it's a good season. Dave, thank you very much for giving Into Boxing some of your time today. We wish yourself, Hopey, all the very best Saturday night.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Nice one.
Thank you very much.